Hello, friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
But not today.
There's no research to be had here. Yeah.
Pod go forward to Toral.
Pod return to the dawn.
Yeah.
So
Pod return to the breaking dawn.
Something like that. Yeah. We are.
Anyways, hi, I'm Levi also. Hello.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
As promised, we are taking a week off for the Dawntrail release.
As promised, we fucked off for a week.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was great. Actually, 2 weeks, but the other week we are burning our backlog.
You guys will have no idea any of this is happening.
Correct.
You'll have no idea. It'll be business as usual, except for this, which is going to be totally in addition to.
But we busted in advance of this break, so you earned it, Jen.
Thanks.
Good job, sport.
Ditto. Guy who does all the editing.
Thanks, Jen.
Yep.
So we are just chatting a little bit about our first impressions on Dawntrail, just to put something out on our break week.
There may be spoilers, you know?
Yeah, we will not talk about anything story-wise outside of the first 2 half zones.
I'm going to absolutely keep that straight in my head. I will not let anything slip.
Or we can always Google you out, Jen.
But
anyway, yeah. So nothing big story-wise, just generalities and setup stuff being discussed today. So listen at your own risk, but I expect anyone who's actually at level 90 plus and has begun the expansion will have at least covered what we're talking about in any detail.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Anyway, Jen.
So maybe, save this until you've gotten a little farther in if you're so inclined. Because it's worth doing super fresh, just saying.
So, Jen, Dawntrail.
Dawntrail!
How was it?
Holy shit! My God, I've laughed, I have cried, I've cringed.
Have you died, Jen? 2 fates?
Yes.
Yes.
You get complacent. You go into fates, you're like, la 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 la, push buttons, walk away, next fate. But no. There's a ton of people out in the field right now. So you will have somebody else at a minimum with you on a fate. But even that is not enough in a lot of cases. I'll just run in, gather a bunch of dudes, start doing AoEs, but then they're all throwing like potatoes at me or whatever at the same time, and then I die.
Yeah, you are not geared as a DPS for bulk pulling.
No, absolutely not. I forget.
So I am leveling Gunbreaker and Machinist at the same time with my MSQ and side quest and Fate XP. So I will tell you from that perspective that going into a Fate as a tank, fantastic. Between the Chocobo companion healing plus the tank's self-sustain, you're good. It's great. As a DPS, though, if there are no tanks present, if you try to bulk pull, that's it. You're done.
Anyway, yeah. So, and, I'm doing a lot of fates, obviously, because we're back at square one. We don't have flight. So we're looking around for ether currents, that whole thing, which is it's fun. I got my ether current map out and my compass, and it forces you to explore the world. But anyway, I think we're getting already all up in the
doesn't matter
mechanics or whatever.
There's no agenda, just vibing.
I know. So okay, so it's been some time since I really earnestly engaged with my main character because I do a lot of stuff with Otis now for obvious reasons. So I was very excited to super excited to get going. Because I remember this is the second time that I've been able to experience a launch of an X-Pack as it was new. So we got into the game when Shadowbringers had already been released, and we busted ass so that we could be ready to go for Endwalker. And yeah, Endwalker was a very, very special time. And now Dawntrail is also it's a whole new ass continent. Holy shit.
Well, new ass everything, really.
Yeah.
As in there are no more Asians involved.
Which is weird. So yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're getting into.
Well, it's good, I think. I think that we both love it, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording on July 4th right now. So we've been at the game for 6 days so far.
Yes.
6 minus days.
We started 8 a.m. on
Friday.
The 28th, yeah. That was great. We took some days off.
Yep. Days off from pod, days off from work.
Yeah.
But anyway, though, so right now I am in the final zone. I've been taking my time. I've been doing all the side quests. I've also been doing plenty of crafting and gathering along the way too.
Yep.
I didn't want to just like let that sit until the end. So I've been taking breaks to grab the new resources, to make stuff, and just to keep those leveled too at the same time.
Make stuff and make gil.
Also that the markets are crazy right now. Like everyone is spending boatloads of money on stuff that's going to be going for a few hundred a pop in a week or two.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go on the message board, the market board in like a week and buy all the gear that I need.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll probably have crashed. But as of now, the whole cycle's been very interesting because at the very start, people were buying any gear whatsoever for tons. But now, though, with all the coffers, the left side gear is glutted.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff is largely kind of worthless right now.
Right side is hella expensive.
Yeah, because people don't do the side quests. So if you do the side quests, you will get a coffer for every right side slot, including 2 rings. So you can open those coffers, and if you're not hard up for gear yourself, you can sell them for a couple $100K.
Yep.
Or if you make the right side stuff, same deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been on top of that. Well, how did you like the introduction, like the ride across the salt, as they say?
So we're doing beat by beat here, Jen.
I mean, kind of like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I kind of wanted to. I think that would like trigger
memories.
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
like starting out. And so let me just say the graphical update has been amazing. Just seeing like my character's skin, and she's an Aura, so her scales look incredible. And the way the lighting is insane. Seeing the texture of woven fabric and leather and metal, it looks dynamite.
Yes, everything looks great. Because we're normally zoomed out.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more of the environment. Also, I main a Lalafell, so everything is very tiny. Also, speaking of the update, the Lalafell update is probably the most minimal of all the races because they still keep that very soft, round face.
Yeah, not a lot of crags
no.
in the features. But there is a difference in like skin coloration and texture.
Yes.
Which is much more realistic and cute. There's some little like, some like redness and
like eyes look good too.
Rosiness, I guess. Yes,
they got big eyes. Anyway, before we go on to Across the Salt, Jen, how far are you in terms of MSQ as of now?
I think I just started. I think it's level 96 MSQ.
Okay, so you're still in the 4th zone.
Yeah, the second half of the 4th zone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am about halfway through zone 6 right now.
Oh my god, there's 2 more zones.
There are, yes. Correct, there are.
I don't, like, at this point, I'm like, where the fuck are we going? I have a theory, but oh my god, yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know. You're going to Moogle that up for
yes,
sure.
I am. So, yeah, there's always 6 field zones per expansion. That's the pattern, so.
That, the moment when shit went down, because there's always that moment, right, in the expansion where you're like, what the fuck, when everything gets sad. Or scary. And that was a true like, what the fuck is happening? Which, it got me, which is great. So okay, we get on the boat, we go across the way.
Back to the beginning, we get on the boat.
Well, there's also like a moment with your character. There's a lot of they've put a lot of like beauty shots in here with characters and yourself. So be ready with that screenshot button. It's like that moment where you're in the ship and you're inside the ship and there's light coming through the windows and it's kind of hitting the back of you and it's kind of, grazing bits of your body, but then the light will shine through like your ear or your scales or something. It's just like it's very rare that you see your character in a moment of this like kind of quiet retrospection, anticipation, maybe like, maybe a little anxiety of the unknown. It was a moment, which I really appreciated that they gave that to us. Took us a couple of screenshots, of course. Getting to the new
boat's good. The first of many long cutscenes.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything is gorgeous. The water is gorgeous, especially coming in to the coral area, the reef area.
Unbelievable.
On the way in, though, honestly, in this cutscene, like many others, I was hankering to press some buttons during the storm because, it felt like that'd be a good time just to warm up. And if you've not been playing the game for ages, it'd be a great time just to do something to actually move around.
Yeah.
But
no, you're just watching.
I'll confess that during many of these longer cutscenes, especially when there is action that is not playable, as in it's just like cutscene action.
Yeah.
I am hankering just to do something.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of digging through for extended periods of time, like the MSQ exclusively. You're kind of just going from like one trial to one dungeon. And I'm getting to the point where I'm antsy. Like, give me something to do.
Yeah.
Give me something that isn't just like, take this to this guy over there and blah, blah, blah. You know, there's a still quite a bit of that, but
that's when those fates and crafting breaks and so on are nice to actually do something mechanical for a little bit.
Yeah, take a break.
Yep. But
keep it spaced.
Even besides just wanting to do something in general, there have been some cutscenes as well.
What?
During the transition to part 2 is what I'd say in a vague sense. Like, I was really wanting just to like engage in that moment versus just watch that moment, especially. And it was kind of difficult just to not be able to actually do anything in that scene.
Yeah.
So anyway, taking us back to the journey, Jen, to the first 2 zones.
Yep.
First city's beautiful. It's huge. And it's, I think, probably one of my favorite of the player cities.
It's absolutely stunning.
The favorite. The only quibble I have is that it's hard to get to the actual market area compared to like Limsa and Charlayan, for instance, which are super convenient. This one, there's no easy way to get there. You either have to etherite or hustle.
Yep.
You know, like first world problems, obviously.
Jump down roofs. It's a very vertical city.
When I go there, I want to return. I want to get to the retainer bell and the market board ASAP.
Yeah.
And I might actually set my home point back to Charlayan after I'm done MSQing, just because having that plaza
just
with everything right there was so convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually go there now for burning off like poetics and also for that convenience sometimes. And it is dead there, though. There's no one in that main plaza.
Yeah. It's just so funny because it was so banging for so long.
Though I wonder if, I guess, the music, especially the daytime music in Toli, is going to, I guess, be a bit too energetic to just like hang out during.
I fear that as well. Like, and I feel that way about Radzatan. That music grates on my nerves after a while.
Yeah.
Whereas like Charlayan is just like chill and jazzy, and they were like, oh, people seem to like the jazz. So they went really hard on it. And when you first get there, I mean, it was one of like the first things I said. I'm like, oh my God, the music is so good. Like it makes you pumped. But yeah, I mean, if you're like crafting and shit for like an hour, you might feel a little differently about it. But right now I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's so, so good. And the nighttime theme, it's like, what did I say? I said it was sassy. It was sassier than it needed to be.
Unnecessarily sassy.
It's so good. Yeah, the colors are so like unbelievably vibrant. Just looking across crowds and buildings and landscape.
Yeah.
It's
also, though, I have to say everything in that city is traversable, which is so great for such a vertical city. I've been surprised by the range of mobility they allow for in that city.
Same.
Like in general,
I'm
if you
walking
can see,
on people's houses. Like I'm just like going on roofs, jumping from roof to roof. And I'm like, this is great. And I'm taking all sorts of screenshots and getting like the good views. And like, it's so cool. And then, well, there's a lot of really, okay. Yeah. I mean, the architecture is very big. The scale of this place is very, very big, and there are historical reasons for this. I loved the walkthrough of the saga. I thought that was amazing. We get introduced to a new beast of burden, a couple new beasts of burden. No chocobos here. First area, well, it depends. You can choose. It's kind of like the beginning of fucking Shadowbringers. They allow you to choose.
It's every expansion.
Is it really?
Yes, really.
Oh, okay. See, I've only done 2.
Except for Stormblood, actually, I think.
See?
Stormblood is the exception to that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can always choose.
Heaven's Word. I don't
Heaven's
remember
Word
that
you can choose. Yep, you can choose between Sea of Clouds and the Kurthus, is it Northern Highlands?
Oh, no, it's
whatever. The
Western.
other.
I think it's
Kurthus Western Highlands.
Falcon's Rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can choose either of those at the start. I am like 95% sure. It's been a long time since Heaven's Ward, but we'll know again soon, actually.
Right.
So
well, the first zone I went to, I'm always like, well, I'm glad I did that one first. I don't know why, but I'm just glad I did that one first. Also,
Which zone did you choose, Jen?
That was... Okay, so names of things are quite foreign, straight up. Yeah, so it's going to be hard for me. Zone 4? Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's going to be hard to remember some of these names. I'm going to have to see them out loud.
Well, the jungle or the mountains, Jen?
The jungle, yes. So the city of birds.
I think this is what we kind of envisioned going into the expansion. At least I did. A lot of kind of very verdant jungle areas, which this delivered on.
And also, very beginning of an expansion, it feels like amazing. It's so like extra. I don't know. The battle music might be my favorite ever from any expansion. It reminds me, and I've been trying to what is this reminding me of? It reminds me of the scene where you're introduced to the Jesus in The Big Lebowski. There's this flamenco ass sort of, I don't know, dance battle montage kind of vibe to it. I find it so good. It makes me if I'm just running through an area and a mob sees me or whatever, and I'm I will stop and fight you because I want to listen to this music some more. And it makes me feel like I want to fight something.
Cool.
Thoughts? Impressions? Agree, disagree?
I like it too. I like the environmental music more.
Porque no listos?
If I were to pick a favorite,
I can like
Jen,
both,
I didn't say you can't like both.
You know what? I actually prefer the zone music. I'm liking one doesn't mean that I have to hate.
I don't feel compelled to interrupt the chill ambient music to get that fight music going.
No. Yeah. That's always a thing too. Sometimes I will specifically avoid a mob or a fate because I don't want the music to be interrupted. I get that. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite zone and or zone music, Jen?
Ooh.
Of the 4 you've seen so far?
For music, I love the... I should have written these zone names down. The zone where the Palo Palo are, but it's super. It's South American, hella high altitude, like an arid desert kind of a vibe.
That one, I think it's Ergo Pacha. Pacha's in the name.
Oh well, the city's Huachipelo.
Sure.
Yeah, Ergo Pacha. Yes. I think that might be my favorite. I love a desert, so.
In terms of just the biome.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And the vistas that you get there. Obviously, Zone 2 is conventionally gorgeous. It's you see a lot of that in a lot of the promotional materials, like the tiered waterfalls and the verdant rainforest.
Well, Jen, because you asked, I think that for aesthetics, the mountain is probably my favorite of just the visuals. There's a lot of very dense, vibrant areas too, which are great. The later part of Zone 3, for instance, is also fantastic.
Ooh.
But I think something about just the desaturated kind of arid mountaintops, the color scheme plus all the cacti there, especially, really makes for a fantastic.
And it's such a grand environment. Whereas in the forests, it feels more intimate, and obviously there's a tremendous beauty to be had there. The reveal that you get for the second part of Zone 3 was oh my god, this is they fucking knew what they were doing with this. It's unfair. It's so pretty. So it's almost because I feel like they were gunning for people to be oh my god, it's so pretty. I refuse to choose that as a favorite. It is beautiful. But it doesn't feel as good to me as Ergo Pacha does. Yeah.
Well, Jen, going back to things we can talk about in more detail now, how is the story for you, at least as far as the setup goes? Not talking later game specifics.
Sure, because I really don't know much about that. I just got into the second half. So I for one, enjoy Wook Lamont, okay? And I think a lot of people they're very polarized on this one particular character.
Have you found people bad-mouthing her anywhere?
Not directly, just hearsay. People having God, I hate her.
Hearsay from where though?
Reddit.
I am not online. I'm less online than you are, Jen. And frankly, that you're not very online yourself.
Correct.
So,
but yeah, it's just I hear it. Somebody on Reddit posted somebody on Twitter who was reposting, so there are conversations being had,
Sure.
and people, PC Gamer came out with an article how like these mixed reviews and people are finding the character very polarizing, and like I get that, but she's supposed to be because she has this huge fucking arc. When I first met her in 6.55, I was like, I don't think I like her very much. But you weren't supposed to, I don't think.
In 6.55, I think that's really the jury's out moment. And it's probably a lackluster character at the start, I think, just because of how she doesn't really have a strength. It's more an aspiration. She's also very proud too.
Yes.
Not in like a prideful way so much as like as in a projecting way.
Correct.
So, I mean, I can see not being into that, but I think overall, though, she's a great character. And I have not seen anyone in my direct circle bad-mouthing her.
No, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
We're all like, we adopt her. We love her.
And we're also in a very big FC gen. We do have some firsthand chatter going on.
Definitely. Like the whole point, like I'm excited to see, but it was very satisfying, I guess, to do stuff with her.
Wow.
I can't.
Okay.
That seems like one big spoiler for like the entire. It's hard to like to really discuss stuff
Correct.
without getting into like.
That's why we're keeping it light.
Not. Yeah.
Since Jen keeps trying to talk about late game stuff or allude to it in a general fashion, let's close out, Jen, with some final light chat here.
Okay.
First off is that Corn Servant.
Corn Servant! Ah!
So let's not talk about the Corn Servant in detail because many people skip side quests, but a side quest to not skip is the Corn Servant who you can find on the docks. This is a beige quest in Twilly. You can find a little corn hanging out there. Click that corn and follow that corn's journey through all the zones and you will not regret it.
So good.
Yep.
He's so cute. When you like come up and you talk to him and he's startled and his whole corn body jumps out of the husk. And he's got his little sash, his little feet. Yeah, it's so random. I mean, it's not because we're in like an agricultural zone where this makes total fucking sense. But at the same time, leave it to the weirdos at Square Enix to dream up something like this. Yeah, so do that.
But speaking of side quests, I've been doing them all, like I said, and I think that in general, the side quest quality is very good for side quests. Big asterisk there because they're never innovative, mechanically speaking. It's all just tasky stuff. But I think as far as adding more context and flavor and so on to these areas, they are all very good just for expanding the narrative.
Yes, I would agree.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no regrets.
Cool. Did you know, Jen, that there are 2 blue quests that go into a more expanded story in each zone? And then if you do both of those, that unlocks like a part 3 intermingling of these stories as like a capstone to the zone.
Yeah, I've already had. So in each zone, when you're kind of wrapping up like the main chunk of the story, 2 blue quests will become available. Those are your Ether Current unlocks. One of them is a simple, like, go to this thing, and then you do the thing, and you're good to go. And another one is, the second one, one of them is, it will lead into like a whole thing. It's usually like 4 or 5 quest steps to get to like the end of, to wrap that whole storyline up. But I'll get to the next zone, and the one that I was just in, one of those Blue Quest storylines like met up with a previous Blue Quest storyline, and like those characters met up and did shit, and I'm like, that's cool as hell. And it's just great. Like the areas they're so lovely. And if that's the kind of game the game experience you want to have, absolutely do the side quests. It's not just busy work. This is opening up the flower that is the story and the lands,
getting sultry in here,
and the cultures. Yeah,
great. All right, good closing moment, Jen.
Yeah,
we gotta get on to our 4th of July plans, but overall, having a great time. It's extremely impressive everything they've done here, and great to have a very engaging story that is not at all tied to all of our old favorites.
Yeah. It's
new.
So refreshing.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh God, just you feel so deeply. And the trials and the dungeons, all of these, the combat, all of them have been suitably difficult, but very cool. Just impressed. Love it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is our Dawntrail chat. Somewhat meandering, but whatever.
That's the way it goes.
So then next week, we are back with the old pod return onto the start of the patch 2.4 main scenario quest. So we will see you then.
Bye-bye. All right, that will do it for today's episode. As always, thank you all so much for listening. I hope you're having a great time in whatever part of the game you're in. Hope you're having a great time. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com, or check the show notes for our Discord. You can join up and post pictures of your pets, talk about the game in whatever capacity, join group runs, organize group runs of your own. Overall, a fantastic group of people. And we also have our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. And for $1 a month, you get access to all of our bonus stuff. We have our Final Fantasy XI series, Vana'diel Vansplainer, that is published there. All of the seasonal episodes, and any other random crap, like the tabletop RPG. There's an episode about that. So check it out. And with that, we hope you enjoyed this unscripted little walkthrough episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.